the beginning of part 4. Hey, Cash, where are you going? Well, first I'm going to go see how the girls are doing. And then I'm going to call the airport to see if Mr. Parrish is getting along okay. Mr. Cash knocks at the door. Miss Fletcher opens. And then comes running down the hall. It's Johnny. He says he's just got word from Mr. Parrish, and he's been in a serious auto accident on North Salem Road. This is just too much, Miss Fletcher says. You got to get there fast as you can. What's the address? 52 North Salem Road, Johnny. Are your duties over for the day? Yeah, do you have a car? I sure do. Then I need you to do me a favor. Would you take me and Mrs. Fletcher to the airport? Why? There's no time to get a taxi, and I need to get there pretty quick. But that's not over by North Salem Road? No, it's not. We're going to the airport. But Mr. Parrish isn't at the airport. He's injured on North Salem Road. I have my doubts. That is what he wants us to believe. But I don't think so. Johnny, come on, let's go. But Mr. Parrish isn't at the airport. What if he's injured on North Salem Road? Then it'll be my fault. But here again, I just don't think so. How do you know? Well, North Salem Road is not on the way to the airport. It's the opposite direction. I think this is merely a trick to keep us from getting to the airport. Come on, we must hurry before it's too late. You hear the car accelerate and speed off. Well, the airplane is still there, but I don't see any sign. Hello over there, Mr. Parrish. Large as life. Yeah, that's him, all right. Right there. Come along, please. Both of you. Mr. Parrish. Mr. Cash. My daughter, is she? Yeah, she's at the hotel resting. She had a small misadventure, but she's entirely safe. Well, thank heavens. You were relieved, huh? Oh, yeah, sure I am. I don't think I would have gotten on the plane if you hadn't found her. Fortunately, I don't have to worry about a delay. Inspector Stevens, I knew you wouldn't. Yes, you beat me here. I was halfway to North Salem Road before I realized what was really going on. Here's Mr. Parrish, safe and sound. I suggest the plane be inspected with care. There may be sabotage about. Good idea, says the inspector. Also, have all the doors to this building guarded. Yeah, that's another good idea, Cash. But of course, Johnny, you may be required to return us, so stick around. Okay, Mr. Cash. Oh, Mr. Parrish, here's your pilot. We're ready to go, Mr. Parrish, anytime you are. Well, thank you, oh Captain. Here comes my luggage. Will you see that it gets aboard? Well, yes, sir, says the pilot. And he carefully takes the containers and loads them onto the plane. Well, goodbye, Inspector. I must admit, you've been extremely helpful, and I'm much obliged. Not at all, says the inspector. Goodbye and happy landings, he says to Mr. Parrish. Miss Fletcher. Goodbye, sir. Mr. Cash, it's been a privilege to know you, and I'm only sorry that I couldn't remain to see you break the case. But you have, sir. I beg your pardon, says Parrish. The case is broken. Inspector, meet Hilary Kent, the gentleman whom you have just wished bon voyage to. Hilary Kent? You must be mad, Cash, says Mr. Parrish. Good gracious, I thought he was Parrish, said Mrs. Fletcher. The container of hard drives which you have waited so long to see must not be moved, Inspector. Why not? Because it contains the body of Jonathan Parrish. Sounds of things and conversations going around. Dean Cash is at a restaurant now with Mrs. Fletcher. They can still hear the planes circling above. How do you feel, Mrs. Fletcher? The feeling I got, if that's what flying is all about, I'm going to stay on the ground. Oh, that's natural. I too don't like murder, Mrs. Fletcher. And Inspector Stevens, is everything taken care of? Yes, they're taking Ken away right now. And then perhaps you'll join us for a little supper? No, thanks, Cash. I got to get back. I just dropped over to ask a few questions. Okay, shoot. Well, when did you first suspect that Kent was impersonating Parrish? Almost from the start. When we entered the room, Mr. Parrish, what do you find out? I found an amazing paradox. On one hand, we have a man who's an ardent stamp collector. His album was perfect. Each stamp was positioned, each color was put in the right shade. And then we had a man that... Some things are obvious, ma'am. We can suppose Hilary Kent discovered the nature of the mission Mr. Parrish was on. And what a magnificent opportunity to swindle the world out of millions upon millions, if not billions of dollars. To remove Jonathan Parrish, fly back to Europe, ask Parrish to deliver the hard drives, the codes, and the currency formulas, and then counterfeit his way to a fortune. He was also a genius, don't you think? He learns that Parrish is at the Hotel Windsor in room 615. He knocks on the door. Parrish answers, and then is strangled to death. But then there's the body that must be disposed of, where no one can find it. But there's only one thing to do. Take the body to Europe, and the very packing case that all the hard drives and computer equipment came in. And it's right in the room. So, you guessed where the body was? No, Inspector. There was proof in the room. Remember the second laundry box that was sent up from the hotel? From some special hard drives? One doesn't purchase all those supplies at the last minute. He has them with him, because you don't know whether it's going to fit or it's what you exactly need. It was in plain sight right under our nose. What about Laura Parrish? Oh, I got that figured out. She calls up and says to Kent, "Pop, I'm coming over." Of course, he couldn't allow that. Then the jig would have been up. So he gets down to the alley and eliminates her, right, Parrish? Exactly. As for the poor Mr. Trimble, he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. when Parrish knocks on the door. And he had to dispense of the body pretty fast. And that was a big mistake. He should have never started with me. Oh, you're so modest, Cash. Excuse me for a minute. Ma'am, may I ask you a question of a personal nature? Sure, fire away, Miss Fletcher says. Ma'am, are you engaged in employment at the present time? Do you have a job? Well, not especially. Like I said, I do have an inheritance. Are you computer literate? Can you type? Well, of course. Well, ma'am, I find you both intelligent and charming. A rather rare combination these days. Moreover, I'm in great need of a secretary with some superb qualifications. Would you like a job? Well, Mr. Cash, for 10 years I've been devouring detective stories, and you ask me if I'm interested? Chief, you got a secretary. Well, Cash, they're taking Ken away. I guess that winds up the case. Not quite. Tell me, where does Mr. Kent reside? Well, we found a lease on him for an apartment in Gramarye Park. Hey, that's a good neighborhood. Yes, it is. It's right in the heart of the city. Why do you ask? I don't think Mr. Kent will be needing his apartment anytime soon. That's all we have for tonight. Hope you sleep well.